What if a simple penny in your pocket was worth millions? Get ready to uncover the jaw-dropping secrets behind the top 3 most expensive ultra-rare pennies ever discovered, coins so valuable they've fetched hundreds of thousands to over $1 million at auction. Don't blink, you might be holding a fortune. Have you ever looked at an old penny and wondered if it could be worth a lot of money? What if I told you that a small copper coin from 1966 could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars today? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Some 1966 Lincoln pennies are so rare and special that people are paying big money to get their hands on them. And the best part? You might already have one sitting in your coin jar, drawer, or even in your pocket. Most 1966 pennies may look normal and boring. They have Abraham Lincoln's face on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. They were made mostly out of copper, just like many other pennies from the 1960s. But in 1966, something unusual happened. The U.S. Mint was having problems with people hoarding coins. Silver coins were disappearing fast because the silver in them was worth more than the face value. To stop people from collecting too much, the Mint stopped putting mint marks on coins between 1965 and 1967. That means every penny from 1966 has no letter to show where it was made. This may not seem like a big deal, but it makes things interesting for collectors, especially when rare types and errors show up. One of the most valuable types of 1966 pennies comes from what is called a special mint set, or SMS for short. These sets were not regular coins and not full proofs either. They were kind of in between. The Mint made them to give people something nice to collect without making regular proof coins during those years. Most SMS pennies look dull and smooth, but a few lucky ones have a shiny, mirror-like background with a frosty image of Lincoln. These are called cameo or deep cameo pennies. They are very rare and beautiful, and collectors love them. If you have one in top condition, it could sell for $5,000 or even more. But that's not the only kind of rare 1966 penny out there. Some of them have mistakes that happened at the Mint. These are called error coins, and they can be worth a lot of money. One common type of error is called a double die. This happens when the design is stamped more than once on the coin but slightly off, causing parts of the words or numbers to look like they're doubled. If you see a 1966 penny where, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date look strange or have shadows, you might have a double die. These coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how clear the doubling is. Another kind of valuable error is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not lined up right during the stamping process, so part of the design is missing or pushed to one side. If your 1966 penny looks off-center and the date is still visible, it could be worth $200 to $800 or more. Other cool errors include clipped planchets, where a piece of the coin is missing, double strikes, where the coin was hit twice, or even coins made on the wrong kind of metal. All of these can raise the value a lot. Now let's talk about condition. Most 1966 pennies you find will be old, dirty, or scratched. But if you find one that still looks shiny, red, and brand new, don't ignore it. These are called mint state coins, and collectors will pay big money for them, especially if they are graded MS67 or MS68 by a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. A regular 1966 penny in MS68 red condition has sold for more than $6,000 at auction. That's a huge amount for a penny. So what should you be looking for? First, check if your 1966 penny is super shiny and red with no marks. Then, look closely for any strange doubling in the letters or numbers. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Also check if the design is off-center or if the shape of the coin looks odd. And if you have a special mint set from that year, take a good look at the penny in it. If it looks mirror-like with a frosty Lincoln image, it could be one of the rare deep cameos. The reason these coins are going up in value is simple. People are collecting more than ever, thanks to social media, YouTube, and online coin shops. Plus, most of these rare pennies are hard to find in good shape, especially after so many years. That means fewer good ones exist, and when something is rare, it becomes more valuable. Collectors want the best, and they are willing to pay top dollar to get it. Here's a fun fact: even though number 1966 pennies have mint marks, they were made in more than one place, like Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But since there's no mint mark, you can't tell where it came from. That makes the hunt even more exciting because you don't know what you might find just by looking at the front or back. Every penny could be hiding a rare feature that no one has seen yet. So the next time you find a penny from 1966, don't just throw it in a jar. Take a good look at it. You might be holding a small piece of history and a big pile of money. Some people have found coins like these in old jars, bank rolls, or inherited collections and sold them for thousands. Imagine finding a penny worth $5,000 or more just sitting in your home. If you think you have a rare or valuable 1966 penny, the best thing to do is send it to a professional grading company. They will check it, grade it, and tell you what it might be worth. It's a small cost to find out if you're sitting on a treasure. Even if your penny isn't worth thousands, it's still fun to look, and you might learn something new about coins along the way. So, keep your eyes open. The next rare penny could be hiding in plain sight, and it might just be your ticket to an unexpected payday. You never know, you might be one of the lucky ones who turns a simple 1-cent coin into a life-changing discovery. Don't miss your chance. Go check your pennies now. Just a simple 1-cent coin could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Sounds impossible, right? But it's 100% true. Because hidden in the world of coins is one special 2009 penny, called the Presidency design, and it can be worth a crazy amount of money, if you know what to look for. So if you've ever picked up a penny from 2009 and didn't pay attention, you might want to go dig through your change jar after watching this. Because today, we're talking about a coin that people have found in pocket change, that later sold for $1,000, $5,000, even over $17,000 at auctions. And yes, it might be sitting in your house right now. Let's start with the backstory. In 2009, the U.S. Mint made something special to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. Instead of using the same old Lincoln Memorial design, they created 4 different reverse designs, each showing a different part of Lincoln's life. The first one shows a log cabin from his birth, the second one shows him reading while working on a log, the third shows him at the Illinois State Capitol as a young lawyer, and the fourth and final design, the one we're talking about, is the Presidency penny. This last penny shows the U.S. Capitol dome, still under construction, representing Lincoln's time as president during the Civil War. It's beautiful. It's historic. But what makes it really exciting is that some rare versions of this coin are worth a small fortune. Now, most 2009 pennies were made for circulation and are worth just 1 cent. But there are a few special versions that are anything but ordinary. Some were struck with rare metals. Others were made in extremely high quality. And some even have minting errors, the kind that coin collectors absolutely love. Let's talk about them. The first thing you should know is that in 2009, the mint used pure copper again for some of these coins, something they hadn't done since 1982. Most pennies made after 1982 are zinc-coated in copper, but in 2009, the mint struck some coins in 95% copper for collector sets. These copper versions were not meant for everyday use, so finding one in circulation is rare. But people have found them. And here's the thing, the copper versions in perfect condition, especially with the Presidency design, can be worth hundreds or even over $1,000, depending on their grade. But that's just the beginning. The big money comes from coins that have been graded super high by coin experts. A regular 2009 Presidency penny might be worth 1 cent, sure. But if it's a MS67 or MS68 red grade, which means it's shiny, perfect, and has no scratches, it can sell for $500, $1,000, even $3,000 or more. And there are a few examples in even better condition that have broken records. One of the rarest versions is a 2009 S-proof coin. These were made at the San Francisco Mint and only sold in special sets. They have a mirror-like finish and super sharp details. If you have a proof coin with a S under the date and it's in perfect condition, collectors will pay serious money, especially if it's certified as a deep cameo, which means the design pops out clearly against the shiny background. These have sold for over $1,500. But now we get to the real excitement: error coins. Mistakes at the mint are rare, but when they happen, the value can skyrocket. There are 2009 presidency pennies that were struck on the wrong type of metal, or have double images, or were pressed off-center. One 2009 presidency penny struck on a foreign coin planchet sold for $17,625 at auction. That's right, over $17,000 for a penny. And people have found similar coins in regular pocket change. Even something like a missing edge detail, extra thickness on the lettering, or weird shapes can turn a boring penny into something worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. If you see anything strange or unusual about your 2009 presidency penny, don't toss it away. It could be a golden ticket. Now here's the part most people don't know. The 2009 coins were made during a recession, when fewer coins were being used. So even though the mint made millions of these pennies, they didn't spread around as much. That means there are still uncirculated rolls and rare examples sitting in drawers, boxes, and collections just waiting to be discovered. Your coin might have been sitting for years in a jar, never touched. And if it's in good shape, it could be the one worth big bucks. So what should you look for? First, check the back of the penny. If it has the U.S. Capitol dome, it's the presidency design that's what we're after. Then check the front. If there's a small S under the year, you have a San Francisco proof. Those are always worth more, especially in good condition. Next, look at the color. If it's bright red and shiny, with no marks, that's a good sign. If it has any weird shapes, doubling of letters, or looks off-center, get it checked. That could be an error coin, and those can bring in big money. If you really want to know what your coin is worth, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll check the coin, give it a grade, and seal it in a holder. Coins that are graded higher sell for more money, and buyers trust certified coins more. So next time you find a 2009 penny, especially the one with the Capitol on the back, don't ignore it. That little copper coin might just change your life. Some people have sold rare ones and used the money for cars, vacations, or even down payments on homes. And to think it all started with a single penny. Have you ever looked at a penny from 1941 and thought, it's just another old coin? Well, don't throw it away just yet. Because that little wheat penny sitting in your drawer, hiding in a coin jar, or stuck at the bottom of your couch could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, or in some rare cases, even tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, a single 1941 penny could turn into a small fortune if you know what to look for. Imagine this. You're sorting through old change, maybe something passed down from your parents or grandparents, and you pull out a brown, dusty penny. It says 1941 on the front, with Abraham Lincoln's face, and on the back, it has those two classic wheat stalks, the famous wheat penny. You almost ignore it, until you remember this video. Could this be the one? Could this little coin be your lucky jackpot? Well, after you hear what makes the 1941 wheat penny so valuable, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Let's talk about where it all started. The wheat penny was first made in 1909, to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first U.S. coin to ever show a real person. The design stayed in use until 1958, and collectors today love it because it's simple, classic, and full of history. The year 1941 is right in the middle of this era, and it came at a time when the world was about to change. 1941 was the year before the United States entered World War II. The country was preparing for war, and the economy was shifting fast. That year, the U.S. Mint made a huge number of pennies, over 887 million in Philadelphia, 128 million in Denver, marked with AD, and 92 million in San Francisco, marked with an S. So yes, the 1941 penny is not the rarest in terms of how many were made. But here's where things get exciting. While most 1941 wheat pennies are common, some are extremely rare and valuable because of their condition, mint errors, and unusual metal types. And these rare ones are the reason people have paid up to $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 or more for a single penny at auction. Let's start with condition. Most wheat pennies from 1941 are brown, worn out, and full of scratches. But if you find one that looks brand new, shiny, red-colored, with no marks, that's called a mint state coin. Collectors look for coins in MS65, MS66, or even MS67 plus condition. These high grades mean the coin was never used, and that makes it very rare today. For example, a 1941 penny from Philadelphia, graded MS68 red, the highest grade possible, sold for more than $9,000 at auction. And it was just a regular penny, no errors, no rare metal, just a perfect condition coin. The same goes for the 1941 D and 1941 S. In top condition, they can sell for $5,000 to $15,000 or more. Only a few of these exist today because most people use them in daily life. But now let's talk about the real treasure, the error coins. These are pennies that were made with mistakes at the mint. And when collectors find these, the value can skyrocket. One of the most valuable types of error is the doubled die. This happens when the coin design is stamped twice, slightly off, creating a double image. On a 1941 penny, you might see the doubling on the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or even the numbers in the date, 1941. If you see a penny like this, do not spend it, it could be worth thousands. One example of a double-die 1941 penny sold for over $5,000, and even lower grade ones can bring in hundreds. Another type of error is a repunched mint mark, or RPM. This happens when the mint mark, like A, D or S, was stamped more than once, but not in the same spot. You'll see the D or S slightly doubled or shadowed. Collectors love these because they're clear signs of mint mistakes. Some 1941 D and 1941 S RPM coins have sold for $100 to $1,000, depending on how strong the doubling is and what condition the coin is in. Then we have off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't lined up correctly when it was stamped. Some are just a little off, worth $20 to $50, but others are way off, with a missing part of the design, and those can sell for $500 to $2,000. If you find a 1941 wheat penny that looks off or strange in any way, check it carefully. It might be something special. Now here's one of the rarest and most valuable types of 1941 pennies, wrong planchet errors. That's when the penny was struck on the wrong type of metal. In very rare cases, a 1941 penny was struck on a dime planchet or a foreign coin blank. These are extremely hard to find, but if you do, you might be holding a coin worth $20,000 or more. Collectors pay big money for these types of coins because they're so unusual. They're one in a million mistakes, and they're nearly impossible to fake. Most of them have been found by people who were just paying attention to weird-looking coins in their change. So what should you do if you have a 1941 penny? First, look at the condition. Is it clean, shiny, and red? Does it look brand new, with no scratches or wear? If yes, that's a great start. Next, check the mint mark. Is it a plain 1941? Or does it have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco? Look closely to see if the mint mark looks strange or doubled. Then check the design. Are any letters or numbers doubled? Is the coin off-center? Does the shape or color look different than normal? If anything seems off, that's a good thing, it could be a rare error. And if you think your coin might be special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll check it, grade it, and seal it in a case. That way, if it's rare or valuable, collectors will know it's real and you could sell it for serious cash. The best part? Many people have found valuable 1941 wheat pennies in jars, rolls, or even in pocket change. These coins are out there and they are still being found. So don't ignore that old penny. Look at it. Study it. Because it might just be worth more than you ever imagined. A simple coin, a penny from 1941, could be the key to a big payday. Some people have sold rare ones for more than $10,000. Others for even more. And it all starts with just paying attention.